Yes, lovely people. Hope you're well and welcome back to another combat catch. I almost said coffee again. I can't get like,
Combat
combat
coffee.
catch up. And we have a fun packed show for you guys. Please do smash that like button, but more importantly, make sure you go and subscribe to Jamie's channel. Make sure you subscribe to Luke's channel, who'll be with us in a couple of minutes. Jamie, how are you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm doing well.
I'm noticing something new on your. What's new? Oh, no. It's so confidently as well.
I talk about her all the time, so I thought I'd show her face at last,
She is that like in between, literally that split of attractive, but also she will kill you. She has to as well.
Yeah, no, I like that,
Like I could never be with a woman like that because I would use it for all the wrong reasons. Like I'd be walking down the street and I'd probably bump someone and be like, babe, are you gonna let him speak to me like that, babe? Like
someone coming in, yeah, I'm getting some sleep.
I'll be the little spoon. I'll definitely be the little spoon in a relationship. I'll be like, babe, can you hear that noise down there? I think there's two of them. I'll wait here for you. Go on, you do your thing.
But this way, I wouldn't mind a triangle choke. I ain't gonna lie.
She'd probably oblige as well. But there it is. People. We're gonna start with what happened at the weekend before we speak about UFC 294. Misfits boxing. I'm gonna start with Logan Paul versus Dylan Danis. Because going into it, this was the most hyped, the most talked about fight, purely because of Dylan Danis exposing sort of Logan's fiance, plus just going overboard with the promotion. Both of them just going crazy. The day before the fight, Logan throws a bottle, and then Danis throws a microphone, cuts him in the face. You're thinking, is the fight even going to happen? Then the weigh-in day, Logan doesn't make it to the time that Dylan thought he should have been there. Then he says the fight's off. The fight's not off. Jake Paul says he'll jump in. He doesn't end up jumping in. But then it gets to fight night. And you're thinking, Dylan Danis has done a lot of talking. He's done a lot of promoting. Whether you like how he's done it or not, is he going to put on a show? And he put on a show, but for all the wrong reasons. And I've got a little theory, Jay. So let me know what you think. I think he knew going into it he wasn't going to win the fight, but he wanted to win the occasion. He wanted to have a viral moment where he could literally in a year's time tweet and go, yeah, you might have won, but look what I did to you. He tried to choke him. He tried to throw him. He tried to take down. He tried everything and nothing worked. And it made him come across terribly. Jay, what's your thoughts on it?
Well, this is the first Misfits card I've watched all the way through. I watched the first fight to the last fight. Me and the missus sat on the sofa. Yeah. And we're actually entertained.
You and Valentina, yeah?
Yeah, me and Valentina, yeah. Snuggled in and held me tightly. And and we watched the whole, and I was actually really entertained by the product they put on. So I'll give them their flowers for that. The product they put on was extremely good. I mean, they're a packed house for the undercard. Yeah. You know, boxing fights, you know, the main event is when the crowd sort of comes in. So I'll give them their credit for that. The rest of it, you know, it is what it is. You can't take it seriously. Like if people were taking it seriously like that, like actual boxing, that's a mad comment. If people, if people were actually taking it seriously like that as a serious boxing thing, like Cole Frotch and all that are doing that today and that and Talk Sport and that, it's just madness. It is what it is. Don't take it seriously. But Dylan, look, I watched that show because of him. I ain't gonna lie. He's the reason why I tuned in.
Yeah.
His performance is what I think we all thought his performance would be, to be fair. He didn't get knocked out. Logan barely touched a glove on him, to be fair. And the only real thing anyone's talking about after it is still Dylan Danis.
Yeah.
So he might have lost the fight, but is he really the winner?
Do you know what? It's a very good way of looking at it, to be fair, because again, no one is speaking about Logan Paul. Everyone is still speaking about Dylan Danis, and there's still people calling Dylan Danis out and saying they want to fight him, whether it be in MMA or boxing.
It's money.
So effectively he hasn't hurt his stock in terms of fighting stock.
No.
I just don't think people are just going to take him as seriously as they would have if he had gone out there and given a good account of himself. I don't think.
Oh, Cal just disappeared. Yeah, I think Cal was going to say, like, Dylan just did it to get paid. That's what happened there. Dylan did that just to get paid. He got paid. He probably got a couple of mil for the fight. It's probably the most he's ever done making a fight in his career.
Yeah.
And he did what he did. You know, I did want to see a little bit more out of him.
Same.
I mean, he went for the shot twice.
Yeah, and got none.
And got none because you got to remember, Logan Paul's an amateur wrestler.
Yeah.
You know, he ain't
stuffed the takedown pretty easy. Even the guillotine he went for, he got like
yeah. I mean,
easy.
Dylan, I think that he's a laughing stock. That's how people will go look at him. But I don't think he cares. Have you seen him tweeting since? He ain't stopped. He doesn't care. The man don't care.
Is it that or is it copium though? Because he can't lose face.
I reckon he can't lose face. He wants to be a pro wrestler, in my opinion.
Well, he spoke about that in the lead up. He's saying he wants to go AEW because Logan's in WWE.
Yeah, and he wears wrestling. All he's wearing all week was wrestling shirts. I think the way he produced it was like a wrestling shoot. I think that's what he wants to do. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw him doing some kind of wrestling in the future because he's money at the end of the day, and I think wrestling companies will be interested in him. WWE. I think AEW would be very interested in him because he's a big star, and he's got that crossover appeal on social media as well, which AEW lack. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens one day. But for his mixed martial art career, I think he's a laughing stock now. To be fair,
well, maybe he's going down the pro wrestling route because he's had really bad knee injuries. Like knee injuries that most athletes don't really come back the same from. And I think maybe he thinks to himself, you know, I'm not the same as before I got my injuries. I'm going to cash in this boxing where I know no one's going to try and take me down now. There's very little risk of me hurting my knee again. And then you might be right, transitioning into pro wrestling.
Why not? Get paid. Don't have to take slaps. Why not?
Yeah. Unless you're fighting Gunther.
Good for a leg now. You stay away from him, so you're all right. Yeah.
Luke, what did you think of Logan Paul? Because we spoke about Dylan Danis. What do you think about Logan Paul? Because he was going in there as the favorite. He'd boxed KSI twice. He'd boxed Mayweather. Everyone expected him to win pretty much. What did you think of his performance, though?
Just like my tweet, still shit at boxing.
Oh, he's bad, yeah.
It is like for someone that's training with his brother, you know what type of team they've got, Jake's ambition of becoming a world champion. You know what type of coaches they've got. So you would have hoped that you would have seen some form of improvement. Nope. No improvement whatsoever. It just...
Well...
Yeah, what do you think of Logan Paul? Well, he's a hypocrite. He's not a nice guy. I think he is a bad guy trying to be the good guy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's Anakin Skywalker. That's who he is.
And he should be even a little bit grateful for even KSI bringing into this space, because let's be honest, if KSI doesn't bring him in for this fight, he'd be cancelled after the incident before. Like, he shouldn't even be on the internet. Like, he is, yeah.
To be fair to him, I think he said after that he just wants to. He called himself a pro wrestler after it in his interview.
Yeah,
he says that's what he is now. Yeah, he might still have the odd boxing fight. He might still have the odd boxing fight, but I think he wants Conor McGregor. I don't think that'll ever happen.
That's never gonna happen. The weight disparity between the two is just ridiculous.
40 pounds. It's too much, and I think he said that's the only real fight he'd have. But he called out Rey Mysterio, which was just. And now that's for Saudi Arabia. Mysterio.
You're
Logan
joking, is it?
Yeah, that's the match. Yeah.
Well, that must have been pre-planned then.
Yeah. But Triple H obviously told
after
the fight, you go call out Ray, and then Ray was on the MMA hour with Ariel Helwani, wasn't he? And so it's all they go.
No, smart promotion. It's a very smart promotion. Got to hand it to him. I don't see Logan boxing again.
No.
I think that's it now.
Superstar money. It'd have to be
Unless it's his
superstar.
brother.
Well,
I don't
Jake
think
Paul's
he will.
fighting Marsdale in December 15th, ain't he?
What?
Yeah, unless
Yeah. That's booked. Jake Paul.
Whoa, what? When did this
15th.
happen?
Yeah,
No.
he put it out the other day.
it's not been booked yet, Jamie. Like his opponent's not been announced yet. Masvidal's are rumored.
Oh, I saw from Thingy as well
Opponent.
that they've basically done it. I think Marsdale
Yeah,
was
so
talking
he's
about
the
the other day
rumored
as well.
opponent. But yeah, Logan will only fight against his brother because I don't know, because I've watched several podcasts of him and he has got such an ego when someone went, yeah, your brother's better than you. And he goes, no.
Yeah, Jake
No.
is.
No. He's got such an ego. He's got too many yes men blowing smoke up his ass, thinking that he's the shit. Well, mate, you are shit. Stick to pro wrestling. Stick to the predetermined shit because you can't fight at all. That's it.
I think Jake will be all right if he just if Jake puts all social media behind him and YouTube behind him and actually just concentrate on boxing and stop fighting MMA guys. I think Jake might have a nice little career for himself. But yeah, Logan's a wrestler. That's what he needs to concentrate on now.
Can you confirm or deny?
Chris plays with Deadpool, you know.
Chris is something else. Shout out to Chris. Shout out to LFC Day Trippers as well. Right, let's move on to the other fight.
Name's been changed now, mate. Like,
Cop talking, ain't it? Is it cop talking?
Talking
Or
cop.
Talking cop.
Apologies.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Talking Cop.
sorry, guys. Make sure you go
Rebrand.
tune into Talking Cop.
Rebrand.
The other fight, much like the Dylan Danis in the lead up, most people weren't talking about the fight; they were talking about one person. But at this occasion, it wasn't any of the two fighters; it was Big John Fury they were talking about. And I'm not going to say his son delivered. His son won the fight,
Right.
but I mean, I just don't know what to make of it. KSI talks about his style of fighting, and I'm just like, you're kind of just bouncing around and doing that with your arm. That's not really.
KSI's a joke, Cal.
Yeah, the fight was terrible.
So I think I don't think it was a robbery. I think Tommy Fury won that fight.
Yeah,
he
same.
Point deduction because he was the only one actually trying to box.
Yeah,
KSI just did star jumps and
was holding.
He just star jumping and then holding.
Hey, Tommy was holding for his life as well. Like that's not.
Yeah, but Tommy was trying to come in with jab.
By the skin of his teeth. Because it wasn't like if it went KSI won, I wouldn't be like, that's a robbery. I would have gone, yeah, I can see that.
I will say, I don't like either man, but I think Tommy was genuinely trying to box. The thing with KSI, because he's small, you know, every time Tommy's trying to go for the jab or anything, he's so small, he's just going under and clinching. And I think Tommy needs to be. He's the pro boxer.
Got a bone to pick Tommy Fury though. Because when you're speaking in the fight, I'm going to knock him out. He's useless. He's just a YouTuber. He's worse than Jake Paul. And then you deliver that.
Yeah, it's not good.
Hang your head in shame.
He fought better against Jake Paul, in my opinion.
But
he did.
Yeah, with KSI, I think they do the rematch. I should do. But I will say one thing. A main event should not be 6 rounds.
No, it's got to be 8 at minimum.
That should. I think KSI was blowing after 5. To be fair, and I think if that was an 8-round fight, I do think Tommy stops him in the fight because I think Tommy was starting to get into his rhythm a little bit.
How many rounds was Fury and Paul?
8.
Was that
KSI
8?
didn't want 8 rounds. He only wanted 6. KSI's not a stupid man. You know, he had everything in his. You know, Logan Paul was the same. They didn't drug test till after the fight.
Yeah,
and not before it.
Day before, I think it was. Day before.
Yeah, only Dillian did. Logan didn't.
Probably burnt a hole through the cup.
Logan's on.
He's on some stuff. Do you think with this? And I know. Shout out to Chris again. He's saying that they're talking about a rematch. Do you think KSI losing off the back of Fury beating Jake Paul, do you think that's kind of it in terms of the peak for Misfits now? Not necessarily the organization and more cards, but in terms of peak, I don't know if it can get. I think this was the peak. You had Logan and Danis, which was massively billed. You had KSI and Fury. We've seen that now. I think if it happens again, not as many people are going to be invested.
I don't know. I think a KSI. I think a KSI Fury rematch will be
Jake Paul.
Big business. If they can do Jake Paul and the Ruben Marsdale fight on the same night as KSI Tommy Fury, then that's just as big.
I don't think they will though, because Jake and KSI are not going to want to co-main event for each other.
No, and that's the only other fight is them two, but they're never going to fight each other.
I don't think they will. I don't actually think they will.
They'll wait till they're about 50 years old, and
I don't think they'll ever do it. I just don't think they'll ever do it because I think I just don't see it happening. There'd be so much politics and back and forth about who gets this, who gets that, who wants this, who wants that. Oh, Sultan, if KSI fights Darren Till, look, Darren Till had a really bad sort of stint towards the end of his UFC days. He did batter KSI.
The pay-per-view numbers, 1.3 million buys.
Was it?
Huge.
In the UK. Biggest UK boxing.
2 billion like social media followings, likes, retweets, follows, and all that sort of stuff. Interactions, that's the word. 2 billion interactions on social media and 1.2 million pay-per-view buys.
It's so weird, right? Because when you look at the card, it looked like who could actually have a boxing thing. You're probably looking at Slim, maybe my mate Nate would do all right. Maybe Salt Pappy if he can pick a weight division and stick at it. But let's be honest, the rest are bums.
Oh, I've got to say one thing. I love the tag team boxing match in the first fight.
Yeah,
that was hilarious. Once they started getting beaten up a bit and didn't feel like it, they just tagged out.
No, and do you know what? I like you said at the beginning, Jay. There is a space for this. There genuinely is. And look, I know people ridicule it in this and that. Fair enough. It might not be your cup of tea. But I look at people like Salt Pappy. I look at even people like KSI. Something like, and I always say martial arts is very powerful in this entity in terms of being able to allow people to focus on something that's effectively positive, that can be life-changing. And I think you only have to look at some of these guys and think, if they weren't doing this, what direction in life would they be taking? And look, they're not going in there and no one's getting massively hurt. They're not forcing anyone to watch it. If you watch it, you watch it. If you don't, you don't. I think if you go into it knowing that it's entertainment, you know, it's almost like going in and watching a wrestling event and being like, when you finish watching, going, well, that wasn't real. Well, yeah, of course it's scripted. In the same way, I wasn't expecting Spence Crawford. Like, I wasn't expecting Spence Crawford or Usyk and Joshua. Like, I was expecting fun, entertaining fights rather than have a laugh. And that's
I have to say, I didn't like the build-up though. Like, I was listening to the Fight Disciples, Nick P, Adam Cattrall, because he was there with Talk Sport and stuff like that. And like, I thought the week, like the conduct between like John Fury, KSI, John Fury getting his ass out, KSI spitting at John Fury. I thought that was unsavory. That was
lucky he gets slapped.
And KSI only did it miles away because John Fury would have grabbed him and snapped his little neck.
I ain't fighting John Fury.
Yeah, no, neither am I. It's going to end badly. But I'll be honest, that you're right, Luke. You're absolutely right, because
he went too far.
Yeah, and I think that's where they need to kind of think about it.
Like the brawl, like there's kids watching, maybe a few of them will be like, yeah, you know what, I may take this up. A few of them are going to go, well, that's acceptable.
Yeah.
Well, it's a demographic they're in. They have to.
Yeah.
No, their demographic is probably 14 to 20-year-olds, ain't it?
Yeah.
And that's their demographic. So they have to be careful. But
yeah,
there is a space for what they're doing. You know, you got mixed martial arts, we all love it, but there is a proportion of people in the world that still think it's too brutal, and will still like boxing. There's people that are getting bored of boxing, but not quite like MMA, and they don't like pro wrestling. So you got that thing in between that people of a young age can like watch these people on social media and know what they do and look at it and think, oh, that's a bit of fun. It's a night out. It's cheap tickets. It's a good night and an entertaining thing to do, and it's a bit of release from normal life. So I ain't got a problem with it, but people just take it too serious. I don't know why. Like IFL TV, I was watching their thing. Like the people they're interviewing it. I take Frank Warren taking it so seriously. It's like, chill, Frank. They're not coming after you, man. But you could be 1.3 million pay-per-view buys at the moment. But
Tyson doing his own crossover fight. He's taking the mick out of Mr.
Yeah.
What's Tyson Fury doing against Ngannou? It was a crossover fight.
Yeah, it is.
And Frank Warren said he was the guy behind Jake Paul and Tommy Fury, wasn't he? So he helped promote Tommy Fury in that fight. So
it's all right when he's getting paid, yeah. It's all right when you're getting paid.
Exactly.
When you're not getting paid,
then he's not all right.
But if you're Tommy, you don't leave this world. If I'm Tommy Fury, because he got paid $3 million.
Open to a rematch.
Yeah, he got paid how much?
He got paid $3 million for that fight, against KSI, right? Because he got pay-per-view points. He did 1.2 million, and what he was going to get anyway. So he got paid $3 million, yeah.
Jeez.
And like Frank Warren said today, there's no point Tommy going back into pro boxing because if he does a pro, he's only going to get 30 grand because of the level he's at, the standard he's at. Stay where you are. That's what Tommy's got to realise. He's going, I want to be a pro boxer. He's got an ego because he's a Fury, and then realise I'm going to get 30 grand for that fight, or I can rematch KSI and make millions. Stay in that world where you're king. You're going to be unbeatable.
Fight Jake Paul, fight Logan Paul if he wants a piece, fight KSI again. I mean, Sultan says he wants to become world champion. Well, I want to become a professional footballer. That's never happening. So you know what? He's got dreams. Yeah.
I'll be honest, Luke, we need a DM at the moment. You never know, bro.
You never know. I'll shed the pounds.
All right, people, if you haven't, smash that like button. On to you. In fact, quickly touch on Barboza. What a fight between him and Yusuf. Like, and I know many people probably wouldn't have watched it because it was on around the same time as Misfits. An absolute barn burner of a fight. If you haven't watched it, guys, make sure you go and watch it. Brilliant fight from start to finish. Yusuf actually looked like he was going to get him out in the first round. Barboza's face is a mess. Comes back, wins a unanimous decision, and looks brilliant doing it. So make sure you check that one out. Got a super chat here. Pete Al says, Till said his next fight will be on Misfits and Conor wants KSI. Imagine a card with Conor v KSI and Till v Perry.
Yeah, that's the fight. Perry wants
Till said,
Perry.
You know what? I'll be honest with you guys.
I'd watch that.
I would as well. But you said about Tommy Fury being the king of Misfits. Mike Perry could come for that throne and no one might beat him.
Shut your mouth. It's Conor McGregor. The real king, yeah? The real king. He's going to show up and take money. And take money out your mouth.
I don't know. I think Tommy Fury beats him.
Who, Mike Perry?
Yeah.
I think Mike Perry.
Mike Perry would kill him.
I think
Mike Perry's not really a boxer, is he? But
he's a
not see him bare knuckle.
Yeah, but bare knuckle's not really boxing.
I reckon he'd destroy Tommy.
I'd like to see that fight. I think Tommy, that's the fight Tommy could probably do with,
I think that'd be so bad for him.
I think you could do with that.
Literally, if Mike Perry had to step in and fight Logan the other night, Logan would have got knocked out.
I think that's the fight.
I would have paid to see that.
I think Mike Perry, Tommy, I think they're all going to be part of Misfits. The money's too good. I don't think Conor don't need Misfits.
Conor won't.
Doesn't even need UFC.
Only if there's no way in MMA, then they'll see the money. Because think about it for him, right? He's better than everyone there. Gets a few million just to spar. That's what it's going to be.
I
was going to say, is this Conor better though? Is this version of Conor?
No, I think Jake Paul beats Conor McGregor.
I think the size would come into it.
I think Jake Paul mullers Conor McGregor in a boxing fight. I think Tommy Fury beats Conor McGregor in a boxing fight. I think KSI and Conor McGregor will be close. It's different. MMA guys, they just struggle
Yeah.
with stand-up boxing because it's a different world. You know, you got a certain way your certain different stance in MMA,
Yeah.
the way you can use your legs.
Hey, KSI is trying to do the diet Michael
MVP.
Bennett Page. He's trying to be
Yeah.
like
Well, he's his
prime
trainer, ain't he?
MVP.
Yeah.
He's
He's
trainer.
doing it
But
horrifically.
MVP just so much. But I tell you what, if
But
MVP
MVP's got
decided,
talent.
if MVP decided to do Misfits, MVP would be a good.
I think he might
He's
do.
off to the UFC. He's off to the UFC. MVP.
You'd hope so. You'd hope
I
so.
hope so.
I heard Dana White didn't like him. That's
Oh,
why
is
he's
it?
not there yet. Yeah.
Mm.
I heard that Dana didn't like him. That's why he's never been signed yet.
Oh, very interesting. Very interesting. UFC 294 this weekend, guys. I don't want to. I don't. So with this, because obviously, all right. So guys, plug Luke's preview for UFC 294 will be coming out tomorrow. So make sure you check out Luke's channel. So we're not gonna do a preview as such, but I'm gonna ask you guys some random questions because it wouldn't be right to just not even touch on this show, this card at all. So Jay, I'm gonna start with you first, Jay. And I'm gonna ask you both the same questions. Which fight are you most looking forward to on the main card?
Usman. I ain't gonna lie.
You are. It's the Usman fight for you.
It's because I've seen Volk and that already, and I think it might be the same kind of result. But Usman at 185, yeah, because I think Usman's going to win. So, yeah, I think that's intriguing, man. I saw their interview today as well. Usman looks good, man.
Okay, Luke, same question to you, bro.
I don't want to be the same, but I feel like because of the event changes, no one's really touched on Ankalaev versus Johnny Walker.
Oh, Luke, you took mine.
Yeah, no one's even discussed it because everyone's been focusing about the co-main, the main.
Yeah,
who's going to get
shadow,
out of it. No
shadow.
one's been talking about this because let's be honest, you're probably thinking as the winner of this is the number one contender for Yuri versus Alex Pereira because Jamal's not be fighting for a year. You need a challenger before then, and probably he's the winner. That's going to be the one. So I'm looking forward to that.
Great point. Great point. I just don't rate Johnny Walker. I just don't rate Johnny Walker.
See, I didn't, but I feel like he's unleashed a new side of himself now, which he's actually. I feel like he's learned how to be a fighter in his own body. Before it was a case of I'm just massive and athletic. I'm just gonna steamroll, and then he got steamrolled himself. So he actually had to hone in and start working on his technique. All right, because you two have taken, I've got to go with the other one. I'm gonna say Makhachev and Volk, and the reason why I'm saying it is I think it's going to be a very different fight from the first fight. I don't think it's going to be as cagey, and I think these guys are going to really go after each other, especially in the case of Volk, because even though Volk is just a conditioned athlete and one of the best to ever do it, you have to take into consideration the new climate and atmosphere he'll be fighting in, and who he'll be fighting, and the fact there'll be 5 rounds. I don't think he would have been able to, in such a short amount of time, build up to be able to do 5 rounds against Islam. So I think we're going to see a very intense and very fast fight. Yeah, and then where the chips fall, the chips fall.
Well, right. I think he knows that he won't be able to get a decision win like he was probably expecting in Australia because it is in Abu Dhabi. So he's going to need to finish him for any chance of winning unless he dominates him, which I can't see happening. So he's going to need to finish him.
As long as there's no IVs, we're all good.
There probably will be, Jay. Luke, I'll start with you first because I started Jay last time. Who do you think, or which fight do you think will be fight of the night on the main card?
On the main card? I need to get the main card up.
I'll read it out to you. In fact, I'll share it on the screen, actually. Give me a sec.
It's interesting because I've got a feeling that I've got one, but it's on the prelims, though. I've got one that's on the prelims.
Are you talking about this one?
Which one?
Makhachev and Elliott.
Yeah, like that. Like that was
That's
going
going
to
to
be a
tend to be
pretty
a
good fight.
fantastic fight.
Yeah, that's going to be a fantastic fight because he's Mokaev, like he's in the race to try to be the youngest champion in the UFC.
I don't think he can now.
I think he can't because of that knee injury
Yeah,
that he suffered in London. If he didn't get that knee injury, then I think this bout would have been against someone a lot higher up. He'll probably get a number one contenders bout in March. Like he probably is
Yeah.
not going to get there quickly now, but yeah,
Yeah.
that one's going to be the most intriguing for me because how is his knee going to hold up? Has he rushed himself back in
Yeah.
his pursuit for being the youngest champion in the UFC? So that's probably the fight that possibly could be fight of the night. It's usually the fight of the nights on these big events usually come in the prelims.
Yeah,
Usually
true.
come in the prelims. So yes, I have twisted the question.
Yeah,
I think that's
I
gonna
see.
be the
I
fight
see.
of
I see
the
what you
night.
did there, Luke. I see what you did there. Very political in your answer. I rate it. Jay, what do you reckon?
I think Walker Anklev will be the most exciting fight to watch. But I think Kamaru Usman, Hamza is just thinking about this fight is drawing me because I think they're both sort of unknowns at 185.
Yeah.
And I think this is a really 50-50 fight that could go either way. And yeah, I think Usman could get his career back on track at 185 and go on to be middleweight champion.
I'm with Jay there. I think the Mokaev and Elliott fight is going to be brilliant because both are supremely good grapplers as well as they're both capable on their feet as well. I think Usman and Hamza are going to steal the show though. I just think they're going to just do an absolute madness. I think they're both going to test each other's stand-up. I think they're both going to test each other's wrestling. And I think a lot of that comes down to both of their wills. Like Hamza fears absolutely no one. And I think he's willing to test himself in all areas against everyone. I think he's got that sort of confidence. But we've seen Usman when his back's against the wall and people doubt him. That is the most dangerous version of Usman. I remember going into that Masvidal fight, number 2, when people were like, oh, you can't knock out Masvidal. He struggled with him in the first fight. He slept him. We never saw Masvidal get slept like that before. He slept him. So I think that's potentially going to be fight of the night. And I'm going to ask one more question. Jay, I'll start with you. Who wins performance of the night?
Oh. Jeez. I'm going Johnny Walker.
I think he gets
Interesting.
it done.
Big up Ensman TV.
Yeah,
big up, bro. Luke? What do you think I'm going to ask you, bro?
What? Am I getting the same question?
Yeah, of course you are.
I'm going to go Alexander.
Become a politician. What we
doing? I'm going to go Alexander Volkanovski because I've got a feeling that he is going to win. Just have this deep down feeling that he is going to get it done.
Didn't Bisping say he's going to knock him out?
Yeah. He said he's going to go and knock him out. So that's my performance of the night. He's going to knock him out, become double champ, and then he's going to go to Gaethje. Where's my BMF belt? Because at least I took it on 12 days' notice, and you didn't.
Well, literally, that would be his next fight, effectively. That literally would be it. So, but again, not going to go too deep into predictions, guys, because you have to watch Luke's video, which will be coming out tomorrow. So make sure you do. Boys, watch along on Saturday. Looking forward to it. And guess what, people? It's a good time for us as well. The actual main card starts at 7 p.m. UK time. That is 7 p.m. UK time. So I won't be yawning. Luke won't be keeping me awake. Jamie won't have to be making jokes for me to stay awake. We're all going to be locked in live. Hopefully after Liverpool pick up 3 points in the Merseyside derby as well. It could be a great Saturday, guys. It really could be a great Saturday. And we get to go to bed at a decent time as well. Life's good. Life is good. But boys, before we sign off, tell them people where they can go and subscribe and support what you are both doing, guys. So Luke, I'll start with you.
Yeah, so check out the preview for UFC 294. It will be out tomorrow afternoon. just type in Luke Tanner on YouTube, and then you'll find me. And then on Twitter, I think it's at Luke Tanner 257 to follow me on Twitter, where I very rarely tweet. Yeah.
Indeed. You'll also find the link to Luke's channel in the live chat now. Jay, where can the people find and support you, bro?
So yeah, you can find me at Jamie Phillips Football Chats, and yeah, tomorrow evening I'll be doing a top 6 debate with a load of guests on. So yeah, make sure you come and join us for that. It should be an interesting show.
We'll be there for that, Jay. What time is that show going to be, Jay?
7, I think. Yeah, 7.
Cool. So guys, you heard it, 7 p.m. and the link to Luke's and Jamie's channel is now in the chat as well. One question before we sign off. Mr. Chris Brack with a question here. Who is better, Edge or Chris Jericho?
Chris Jericho.
Chris Jericho.
It's Jericho for me as well. Jericho is one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, Jericho.
I don't think there's been a wrestler that's reinvented themselves more than Chris.
No, he reinvents himself every week. The man's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
He's just phenomenal. Like moveset as well. He's had a brilliant moveset throughout his career. Promo skills.
Never been injured.
Yeah, that as well. He's brilliant. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think he's ever injured anyone either, has he?
No.
That's quite
Not
rare.
badly. Like extremely
Correct answer. Oh.
You're trying to catch me out. But no, people, we'll be signing off. Thank you so much for joining us. Please smash the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to all 3 channels. That is the Sanderson Show, Jamie Phillips Football Chats, and Luke Tanner as well. People, can't wait to see you on Saturday. Make sure you join us. But before that, make sure you tune into Luke's channel for the preview. And then make sure you tune into Jamie's channel tomorrow for the top 6 show. People, enough love to you all. Till we see you next time. Take care.